MechWarrior. 60 tons of power under my seat. MechWarrior's not for people who can't stand the heat. Virtual reality, aim and shoot with my 3D cockpit simulation view. Jump jets, laser beams, cannons full bore, heat-seeking missiles and shields on board. Combat, got attack, go for the thrills, get the cash, paying back. Yo, you got the skills. Plan ahead, use your head, think and be wise. Your thumb's not alone, you gotta strategize. Visuals, colors, popping sound in the brain. You live MechWarrior, it's a mean fighting game. MechWarrior.
Somebody kill us.
Hey, Rap Man, you don't need to pause on a cockpit. Don't.
Bad news. Hey, everybody, welcome to Play Retro. We talk about old video games on this show, and I'm Scott Johnson, one of your hosts. And look, I'm a warrior, and I needs a mech to truly obtain my potential. All right? For what is a man without a giant mech? Sorry, without a giant machine that overheats all the time. Anyway, give me some swarmy missiles and a nice laser, and we're all set.
Yeah, and I'm your other host, Brian Dunaway, and I'm just sitting here in my 31st century mech trying to figure out which one of these buttons turns on the 3DFX. But hey, look, on the bright side, kid, you get to keep all the money in the cockpit.
Pit.
That last part was added.
Yeah, you added the pit to the cock.
Yeah, I appreciate that guy giving me that.
Yeah, this
gift.
Rapper fella. Listen to this.
Yeah.
MechWarrior.
Oh, that is some.
That was a rapper, no delight.
Zero delight. Wore his pants backwards and his raps even more backwards. Anyway, it is MechWarrior 1 and 2 day, everybody. Get ready to celebrate with us as we discuss those two very important, influential games and kind of where they all ended up today. Because it turns out there is a modern MechWarrior you can play today. It's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, very, very recently. And also, what got us into this is the Xbox, was it Retro Games, powered by AntStream? Finally, MechWarrior 2 is playable.
Oh, that's right. You can play it now. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot that was the impetus for this. I like talking about MechWarrior no matter what, but that's pretty cool. Get in there and get some classic business going on. So we're going to talk all about that. Before we do, though, a couple of quick things. Number one, we have our Doom The Dark Ages winner to announce.
Yes.
Yeah, we have somebody who won. Let's give him some music here. No, I don't like that one. Let's do this one. No, let's do this one. There you go. You've won. Oh, that was it. Anyway, we have a winner, and I want to thank, again, DoghouseSystems.com for the donating of the code. This is a Steam version of the code, PC version of the code, and you'll get to play the latest and greatest Doom. We started this right around the time we did our Doom coverage. It's now come to full fruition. Thank you to everybody who signed up over the week, but we have one random winner, and that winner is
Sega.
Jonathan Gilbert.
Oh, really, Jonathan Gilbert? Excellent.
No relation to who's the Gilbert that made the point-and-click games? Ron Gilbert? Not related.
Yes, one. Ron Gilbert is one, yes.
Yeah, not related, though.
Right. I call him Ronald Gilbert. He doesn't like it because that's not his name.
I call him Ronald Mick Gilbert. Getting a lot of trouble with that. But anyway, Jonathan Gilbert, you're a big winner. He's a cool dude, and big grats. You should be getting, probably already has, because I told DHS today who the winner was. So Doghouse probably has already emailed you. But if this is the first time you're hearing it, congratulations. And we'll have more contests coming up. So don't worry if you didn't win this time. There's always a chance in the future.
Oh, there is an upcoming couple of contests here on the Play Retro show. So don't let that URL go cold.
No, some of those might involve some Anbernic devices.
Ooh, what?
Hardware.
Facts.
What? Anyway, that's what. And then I was just going to make a mention that we finally got the announcement of the Asus/Xbox collaborative Ally X device, which is mostly focused on, hey, we're working with Microsoft. It's really an Ally X, and it'll run Windows, but have this cool interface, and it'll play all your Game Pass games. Essentially, it's Game Pass PC. It's not an Xbox. Like, some people are confused about this. It's basically a PC. So it'll play PC Game Pass is what it'll play. It'll also stream and do all that fun stuff. And we don't have a price yet. And I think that means it's going to be expensive. That's what I think.
I think that would be a good prediction. I'm finding it interesting how these handhelds keep encouraging each other to go up just a little bit, which they probably have to. What choice they have? We've got our Switch 2 out now. We've got I'm sure Steam's got something in the pipe.
Probably got Steam Deck 2, and I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
They've talked about it before. They don't seem to be any rush to like do the yearly releases or anything. They'd like to fight against that trend, but
my ROG Ally price, give me it now.
I have a prediction: $8.99.
$8.99. Now, is that just a gut feeling for Scott Johnson, or is that based on any type of information?
It is based on a little bit of both. Seeing what things went up in terms of tariffs and what didn't, what still could be affected by tariffs, which is probably why they're holding off saying, if I had to guess.
Right.
But seeing how much the Switch went for, Switch 2 went for, was surprising. And most hardware costs going up a bit. I just think, and I'm talking about the X, by the way. There's two, the Xbox Ally, and there's the Xbox ROG Ally X. The X one, they're continuing their stupid naming conventions, is what I'm saying. Freaking hate it. But anyway,
and those are already like $8.99 already, right? The Ally X.
The middle
Best Buy.
The entry one's not that high. I think they're $4 or something. But the high end, the high end one is what we'd be looking at as an equivalent, and this has even got better specs than that. So my guess is, I just feel like 900 is where it's
like
be.
Microsoft is offsetting some of that, going, hey man, we'll give you a little bit of Microsoft money.
They could, except I think they already do that with Game Pass. Like they already lose so much on this.
Right.
I don't know what their plan is. Like it's a weird thing anyway, because at the end of the day, you can almost argue this isn't really an Xbox device. It isn't. It's not Microsoft hardware. It's just a partnership with somebody who is already making these. Now we have some it's branded PC hardware. That's what this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's good. I think that's great. And it's another way for, Xbox services to be meaningful. Plus you can run Steam on this and the Epic Store and anything else. Any of these PC storefronts will run on there just fine.
And that, will we run that retro gaming thing they've got for the Xbox now, so we can play some MechWarrior 2?
That's on there too. That'll be there.
Oh no, it's gonna be tough.
Well, unless it's super PC centric. That's the other thing this device doesn't seem to have, is any kind of touchpad support. So it's all stick stuff. I do like that the game or the Steam Deck had the forethought of saying we need some way to replicate mouse movement. And it's not perfect, it's not awesome, but like for point and click games, it's perfectly serviceable. For stuff that you really need it does extend the use case for the Steam Deck, and I don't see that on the Ally, and I don't know what the reviews ever said about it on previous models, but this thing's coming, man. You're going to be able to get it. Yep, you got $900 just sitting around, Brian? You want to...
I do, because I didn't get a Switch 2, so ha-ha.
I did. I got one.
I didn't know you do it. I'm so jealous, but that's okay. I have more gaming than I have time. So
well, that's true.
I can wait.
I'm supposed to be testing out that freaking new Dune Awakening game today, and I have no time to play it. So I don't know when I'm going to play that, and that's a PC thing. Things we do to ourselves. But sometimes you have to expense things for the people, and that's what I did here. Also, shout out to Kevin, KT Data in the chat, because he made this possible.
Oh, Kevin, why didn't you get me one, Kevin?
Well, you'd still have to pay him for it, but he found one at a Target is what he did on launch day, and I was like, I guess I'm getting that. Let's get it.
So we had launch day this past week for the Switch 2, for those who are listening in the future, and I had heard rumors that many people were having luck just going out to Walmarts and Targets and stuff and just walking up and just picking up one by chance, and I sure was tempted. I have two Walmarts because I live in South Carolina, so I have two Walmarts within like 5 minutes of each other. Yeah, and I was very tempted, but I couldn't.
But you held off, eh? You didn't quite pull the trigger.
Yeah, just couldn't do it.
Yeah, there's always tomorrow.
Yeah, there's always
tomorrow. I don't know if they still. I don't know if it's still easy to walk in there and get them.
But that didn't stop me from going looking at all my family all week, going, yeah, Father's Day's coming up.
Yeah, what'd they say to you when you said that to them?
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice, Brian.
That's nice.
That's really nice. We love hearing about your stupid habits that we have to spend money on. We love it.
Yeah,
keep it coming. Well, anyway, good fun stuff. Kevin got one for himself. He was going to get two, one for his boss. And then that day, he's like, I think they have him up the road. I'm going to go by there. And then he sent me a picture. I said, let's do it. Then I Venmo'd him. It brought it over. Well, no, my wife picked it up. I made everyone do all the work on this, by the way.
Well, duh.
Kevin found it, picked it up. Kim went and got it from Kevin, brought it back to me. You know what I had to do?
Dude,
sit in my chair and plug it in.
God, you are so spoiled.
Yeah, a little bit. I admit it.
Jeebus.
I admit it. I was a little spoiled.
Yeah,
I did have to pay for the damn thing, so nobody else was.
Oh no, poor Scott having to come off the money.
I mean, who knows? I could who knows when a hernia may pop up or something. You gotta be ready.
Cool. Pop in, pop up.
There goes my hernia money.
Rough.
Almost had a hernia spending $80 on a Zelda game, but anyway.
That's how it is now, though,
hey,
right?
so anyway, so that's what I got up to. What are you doing with your Ambernics and your what's nots? What's going on?
What do you know? Anbernic is launched yet another gaming system. That's right. Hey, Scott, do you remember back several years ago when we first started looking at these little handheld units and we were like, oh, this is kind of a neat idea, a little handheld Game Boy type format of size. And we picked up the RG35XX, and a lot of our community members also were picking them up at the same time. And we were all amazed at how versatile and just how wonderful it was to have something that you could stick in your pocket, essentially, and play most of your 8 and 16-bit gaming systems. Well, Anbernic is doing something again, and this time they're bringing us the RG35XX Pro, which is basically the same form factor as the one we had when we bought. And there was a couple of iterations along the way.
Didn't you show that? We talked about this in last week or no? I thought we did.
No, we talked about it different. We talked about the SP version, which should be on its way very shortly to you. But this one's even less expensive. Right now, for the first couple of days, it is like $45 for this thing. Of course, you're going to have to pay whatever shipping, blah, blah, blah. But $45 for this.
That's not bad.
Friggin' system. And, it's a 64-bit system this time. So it can do some N64, Dreamcast, and PSP games. And that is why you see they've added these little tiny mini analog sticks. And because you look at it like, why would I need analog sticks? Because this is just the Linux version. It doesn't do like much of the N64, but it does do a few. And I found Ridge Racer to be fairly pleasant on these little recessed mini sticks, which are very similar to the ones that are on the SP we looked at.
And you mean, when you say Ridge Racer, you mean Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's just amazing what this thing can do for $45. I mean, you could easily go out to, Walgreens or Walmart and pick up one of these hokey little pieces of crap out there, or you could get something that's actually fairly nice. It's a little bit lighter than the original, but it's got Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, which the original did not have. They did make some iterations that did have it along the way. It does not have the RGB sticks, the little backlights like we saw on another one of the units we got in recently. It's got the multiple SD cards. It's got USB charging. It's got HDMI out. And you can hook up a controller to this, and you could just play a couple of people if you wanted to, especially like PS1 games. Most of those work, but this is just getting a little bit faster. It can do just a little bit more, but it's never going to take place of those, those Android devices with a little faster CPU. But there are some games, and Ridge Racer is one, and it plays okay. I played it.
That's all that matters. Today. I assume PS1 games should. I mean, they're on my RG58 regular. They run great.
Yeah. It'll do most. PS1 games usually render pretty good on these things. Of course, the N64 is where everybody's always trying to push, because this is, of course, going to be less expensive, a little lighter on the CPU. They did go to 64-bit so that they could get the extra 1 gig or the 1 gig RAM max, because I think they have 512 on the previous one, but I think you run some limitations when you're in 32-bit. This is just the stock OS on this one. Runs fine out of the box, $45. My fingers do get fatigued fairly fast on these little minis. I really have a hard time criticizing this thing for when it's at $45. If it was even $10 more, I'd be like, I don't know, man. But for sitting in the doctor's office yesterday while I was waiting for them to call me for my colonoscopy, it was a nice distraction. And it was good to feel a little bit of callus on my thumb.
So at that price, would you get this? Would you get it over the new SP model that also has the 2 sticks? How would you land on that?
Do you know, I like the SP as far as pocketability goes because you can throw that bad boy in your pocket. However, the form factor on that, even though the screen is tilted, isn't quite, it's a little uncomfortable in my hands. Now, I have pretty big hands. Someone with a little smaller hands may find it very nice, especially if he feels buying it for a niece or a nephew or
these are
a kid or something.
Pretty low here, aren't they? On this one.
Oh yeah, the thumbsticks are really recessed so you can close the lid, and but it's a little bit uncomfortable in my hands. This one, you remember, is just like the original. It's pretty comfortable in your hands, and they've made the back buttons so they kind of like go at a curve, so you can use your inner pad on your finger for the trigger buttons on the back, and the ends of your fingers. So that's a little more.
That's an improvement. That's an improvement.
It works better.
The last one,
yeah.
I see you got some penny racers there. Can you put a penny in them? You put a penny.
I did have a penny earlier, but I dropped it, and I'm gonna have to go underneath it. It rolled away.
Well, shit.
It rolled away without the racer. But like I said, for the price, it's hard to complain about this RG.
I don't think you can complain. I think it's great.
If you have the original or one of these models, you probably can skip it. I mean, unless you're just dying to play a couple of N64 games that don't do that great, but do well enough, you could probably skip it if you've already got one of these. But if you don't have any of these things, this is a really good form factor. This is one of my favorite form factors.
How do you like this one? This RG557.
Oh, I love that one. We actually the other one they sent us, and we haven't had a chance to review that one. It is on its way though. I started reviewing it and I have not finished it.
It's sexy.
It is sexy. It feels really good to the hands. It's like this plastic. It feels really good. It's very smooth. Yeah. It's a smooth plastic.
A little more cash, $249.99, but not bad.
Yeah. But it's Android touchscreen, does a lot more N64 stuff, a lot more of the upper end stuff. And all these things are going to be given away on the Play Retro show very shortly.
Very soon.
I'm mailing out at least 2 of these this week to Scott.
Yep. And then so
Scott don't have it in his hands.
Yep. I'll give it a chance to mess with them a little bit, and then we will package those things up. We will run separate contests, and we will send them to winners, probably in the States. Shipping's stupid right now.
Yeah. I actually had to pay a tariff on.
Did you really?
Because I had to pay almost $30 in tariffs for the review model of this, which is like $45.
Hold on now. I thought the other countries paid for the tariffs.
What? No, that's not how that works at all, Scott.
Oh, weird. I've been told that though by people who should know. They tell me that.
It came through DHL, so we had some customs, and I talked to our representative, and they're going to be sending us a different one. So they're going to be sending it differently next time. So, but it's no big deal.
Yeah.
At least it's still worth the hack, because I was curious anyway, and it just launched today. And it's typically be $49, I think, but the first couple of days they always knock off like $5.
Yeah, they got like a little deal going with a clock on it. So if you add it to your cart right now, they'll give you a little bit of $5 break. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, give a little $5 break. Not bad.
Not bad at all. You know what I kind of want to see, and I don't know if they're ever going to let us review these or if we just have to get one or whatever. But these the 101 controllers, these they're basically trying to compete with the 8-bit dudes of the world, and I'm just curious enough to kind of want to try one of these. I think they're Hall Effect sticks.
Almost all their stuff now is Hall Effect, including, I don't know if it's true or not because I haven't had a chance to really test with these sticks, not to that degree. But yeah, almost all their stuff now is.
Here it is, Hall Effect sticks on these for sure. No hollaback, y'all. No hollaback, y'all.
Holla drip, y'all. Yeah, so me and Scott, we get occasionally stuff from Anbernic. We got a lot more stuff recently, but we have a combination of just buying the stuff ourselves, and we get one in for review. That's cool. Yeah. I appreciate it. We're still going to be honest. They've never asked me or Scott to ever say anything that we didn't just feel. Yeah. As a matter of fact, they never asked us to sign anything. They just show up in the mail and they go, "Hey, don't talk about this until this day."
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool.
Seem pretty cool about it. It's a little honor system thing going on. Bad Poor in the chat says, depends on the company. Retroid is raising all shipping slightly to cover tariffs. Yeah, either way, I would pay that.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're giving me a deal by doing it with shipping. They're still charging me. All right. Well, there you go. That's what we've been up to. That's what's going on. It's time for us to dive headlong. I'm telling you, headlong in today's.
Headlong, or what's the robot equivalent?
Yeah. They kind of have heads, some of them.
Yeah, they do have heads because you can actually hit them. And that's one of the places that maybe one of your strategies is to hit them in the head.
I'll say roll cage torso into your thing or something like that. That's what I'm going with. Yeah. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Shall we play a game?
We shall indeed. Let's talk about the games MechWarrior 1 and 2. We'll start with 1. These are a big deal. Dynamix, remember them? Published by Activision. Dynamix was the original developer. And it was a huge deal because there were people out there going, man, you know what's cool? BattleTech. That is a rad universe with cool board game stuff and TTRPG and all that stuff. We love it. We wish there were more video games. And what did they do? They said, hey, what if we made like a premiere one that was really good in 1989?
Yeah, only the second BattleTech game ever. Before then, it wasn't this.
Nope.
But, yeah.
No, it was
this
not.
Was the best.
It was the best. It was the best of times. It was. Oh, look at you with your BattleTech games. Were those? What are those? Are those books? No, those are the original boxes for the TTRPGs or whatever.
Yeah, these are the tabletop games. So it's beginner box and essentials box. This is what people guided me this week. By the way, thank you guys for your amazing passion. I had no idea the size of this show before we started. I just remember enjoying MechWarrior games, and then suddenly I got sucked into the world of BattleTech, and now I'm trying to learn everything. We're going to definitely have to dip more toes into the mech gaming.
Oh, hell yeah.
arena. But
one day we need to talk about my favorite mech game of all time that I know you played, which was called...
Which one?
That game was called Mech Assault on the Xbox.
Mech Assault, that's a great one. Chrome Hounds, man, you guys have really reached out to us. We have got a lot of mech and BattleTech fans out there from all kinds of franchises, and this is something that I'm going to dig deep into as we move forward.
Yep, it's going to be great.
Love it.
In this first game, you play as Gideon Braver Vandenberg. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. a dispossessed noble seeking to reclaim his house through mercenary work.
Yeah.
Later, we would have literally a MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries game, which was my favorite.
Yeah.
Played the living shit out of that back in the day. We had network play going to my office, the office I worked in. So we were...
is it MechNet, I think is what they called it, right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
MechNet.
Is it MechNet? Is that what... That got you out on the internet, though. Didn't the locally, I think it just used, TCP/IP.
IPX, TCP/IP? Okay.
Something like that. It's been too long. I don't remember what we did, but we played a lot of it, and it used mouse and keyboard for control. You did kind of... I'm going to say this is a loose campaign because it's mostly contracts. I'm not saying that's even a bad thing.
Oh, are you talking about this? Yeah, the first one, the PC DOS
first game. Yeah, you don't do. It's not like story. There's a little story. There's a little cutscene, but mostly they set you up as this Gideon Braver Vanderberg, and then they send you on missions, and you complete the missions or you don't. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, there's two. So there's no real end game here. You can just keep playing and taking getting mercenaries, buying more mechs, buying more weapons, and working your way through the inner sphere. Hey, look, I know the terminology.
Look at you, dude. You're ready to be a BattleTech genius, man.
What's up?
Yeah.
I'm still so short. But anyway, there is a story that you can complete. So you've been essentially your family has been destroyed. So the MechWarrior is all about different families and factions, the inner sphere and was it the periphery? I can't remember. I always call that wrong.
Peripheral. Is that right? Periphery. That's right. Periphery.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, inner sphere is where like a lot of the power is, and the families and the concentration of these planets. And by God, it gets intense. But anyway, you are on a mission to uncover what other faction or family basically include your family. You're looking for a little bit of revenge and clearing your name as well, because you've basically been kicked out.
Yeah.
And so you can complete that part and you can unlock those story points. And that's kind of the story mission, even though it's not, like you said, it's not, it's not real tight.
No.
You got to complete it.
And
you have to complete it.
And again, I don't see that as a bad thing. I actually like that.
Yeah.
I think that's my preferred way to play these games, is when it's just, I like just having missions and an objective, and I need the resources to do whatever I did. And so hopefully I've been playing well so that I could build up what I need to repair a mech, buy a mech, do whatever I got to do for the mission, then go do the mission, come back successfully, go to the next one. Like that is the loop of this that I've always liked. And so the newer ones, they try to jam so much extras in there. The Clans one, which is brand new,
right?
It's technically an offshoot of 5, but it's its own game. And it's called Clans, and it's really cool because it's got a lot of neat cutscenes, really cool engine stuff. Like, it's a beautiful modern game. But I find myself going, this is a little linear and story driven for a mech game. I'd really like to just have a big list of missions, please. Like, almost more. I'm more XCOM with these games in terms of structure than I am full story and stuff.
I like the RPG element of going in there and so you make contracts. So when you start, I played this on my DOS machine. I set up a virtualized 286. No, it was 286.
286.
1989.
That'd be right.
I rocked my 286, got me some DOS on there, installed it on my 5.5 floppy disk, as well as 5.25.
3.25.
Anyway,
or 5.25, 3.5. 3.5, 5.25.
Yeah, I didn't take my ruler out. Anyway, the point is, I installed this thing from the archive because you can't find this anywhere.
No.
It's good luck. Good luck. So
one in particular, two is getting some love, but one is not getting much love. One is sort of out there floundering on its own.
And we're going to find out why here in a little bit too, because there's a bunch of lawsuits involved. Yeah. So I installed this game, and I love how this game plays. I love the game loop, like you were saying, Scott. I love going to get those contracts. I love negotiating the contracts. A little less, but I still think it's fun. You'll go in there. You'll be on a certain planet and in a city city, planet, whatever. So you'll get in there, and you'll kind of have to negotiate whether you're going to like defend something or if you're going to attack, or there's different types of missions essentially that you get with these contracts. And you don't want to fail them, because if you fail them, that messes with your reputation. Then you get it's a whole thing. But if you do have a decent reputation and you've got some, maybe you got an extra somebody else in your lance, you got an extra merc that you picked up at the at the bar, and you can negotiate up 2-3% from what they have. If you get a really good reputation, you just go rack it up to like 10%. Suck it, butthole.
Take that, jerks.
And so what you're doing essentially is you're going on these whatever mission it is to protect or raid, and you'll take a portion of whatever the booty is. Right? You can negotiate the percentage, plus you get a flat fee, which you can get up front. The reason why all that stuff is important, because money is one of the, besides a little bit of heat management in this first one, not as critical as later, but heat management and money is that's what's holding you back from getting all your missions done. You gotta get enough money. You gotta repair your mechs in between, because you're going to take some damage in these 3D worlds. It's so much fun, Scott, going back and forth between the menu screens where you're picking contracts and negotiate, and then you get out there and you do some fighting with your keyboard.
Yeah. You get out there and you do some sort of pseudo 3D business. There's a lot of in between, though. This is a game. Well, it is, but it isn't. This game is really, really, really verbose on the prep. And then when you finally get to go out and fight, it's very brief. You're not out there for a long time in the first game. In 2, that flips. It's like a completely new world. It's like, hey, remember all that time you spent prepping and looking at menus and all that? How about we go from 90% that 10% gameplay to 10% that 90% gameplay? And I think the game definitely benefited from that jump. I think 2 is a superior game. Yeah. Mercenaries even more so. Oh, yeah. I know. You got to start somewhere, Brian. You got to start somewhere. I'm not saying it's bad.
What, you didn't like the CGA graphics here and the in your little mech, and hopefully you at least had that many colors. It might have been something lower, but
I don't mind the colors. My biggest beef is the ratio of prep versus fight. There's just too much in the first game of prep and not enough fight.
Do you have so one of the criticisms that came from the BattleTech players, because the purists are like, oh, we got a BattleTech proper game here, let's see if they got it right. And it's like, hey, it's not this easy to hit another player's mech in the head. This is ridiculous. You got to roll a 12 most of the time, and you got to roll 2 6s on your. That's not going to happen.
It's also a turn-based game on the tabletop, whereas in this you're talking about real-time combat, which is a very big change.
Very big change. Very big change.
Do you ever play the BattleTech game of recent years that was turn-based? Forgot the name.
I never played any BattleTech. It was just something that I knew existed, and I had zero knowledge about how it functioned or played. And I sat in bed many nights this week after getting a lot of feedback from people about, little guidance.
Sure. And sometimes you need that. I totally get it. This was a 2018 game. It's called BattleTech. I thought it had a different name, but that's literally the name.
Video game.
And it's big, 3D, beautiful, story-driven business. But the gameplay, the actual gameplay, once you hit planet side, is you start doing turn-based battles the way, a lot like how the board game works, or the tabletop game works. So it's very graphical in its explosions and carrying out your orders and all of that. But it's truer, I think, to the board game roots of the series. And I really enjoyed this game. So if you ever find it on sale, it's only $40 normally. It's on sale all the time.
And this is BattleTech from 2018, you said?
18, yeah. Right. So not super old even. My biggest beef with this one is it adheres so much to the tabletop that I would just get bungled and lost in all the options. It was so much stuff to take.
It's good that there's so much love for this franchise in general, that there's been so much made for it that you can pretty much pick whatever you want. And I got to say that MechWarrior 1, it was really hard for me to move on because the game loop was just so addictive, because they did limit how much time I could spend in the mech itself. Yeah. And I think it kept making me feel like, oh, I gotta have one more little bite. I gotta just one more little nibble. And I ended up finding myself really enamored with the first one. Of course, I'm a retro head too.
Yeah, you love the retro, everything.
If I could run a game in DOS, I mean, I'm in heaven.
Yeah, you'd do it in a heartbeat.
If I gotta find a mouse driver to make it work.
Yeah, no, this is a very cool realization of a thing that seems almost impossible in 1989. Like, this was ahead of its game for sure. And if you didn't have a nice PC of the era, you probably did some upgrading, because this thing was heavy lifting.
This is one of those games that would encourage you to improve, because when you start rendering 3D in this era, it's going to be a nightmare. And did you have like a theory on what you should do? So, like, some people feel that just throwing everything at the head, because if you can destroy the head, you've destroyed the mech, right? And
I see what
other people are like, oh, shoot the legs out, then they can't move, or even better, they fall over.
Yeah, you take out subsystems or the legs. I do not go straight for the head unless you're using a mech that is like adept at long distance sort of sniping. And there are those mechs. They're certainly in the later games too. They really lean into that. But for me, it's take out their legs, make them less mobile, and you can get way more damage done after that. So that is how I would focus on it. My biggest problem in these games, all of them, is I'm terrible at heat management. I want to overdo it.
Yes.
I want to have like, well, what if I want 2 Gatling guns on one arm? And what if I want to put the beer prepare? And I start building this mech that is just a total energy suck, which means that the overheating meter is happening much quicker, and there's not enough water around to stand in or something in the world. Because that is a mechanic, especially in later games.
Yeah, I never could do it because, like you're talking about, the terrain, get to the water, get to the, you want to take the high ground so you can really blow somebody up.
Yeah, but it's part of the meticulous gameplay that the series is known for. So I do not fault that. Yeah. It's just I'm bad at that management part, and I'm that way in real life. I'm very bad at like, we can drive through 107-degree heat in Arizona to get to Vegas. It's fine. Did we put fresh water in the radiator? I don't know.
That's right. My mech can handle it. It's not a problem.
My Volkswagen mech can get there.
It can totally do it. Now, the one thing I was not a fan of in this first one, I don't like how the planet traveling aspect of it, because you would have to So when I first started, I saw a couple of theories on how best to enjoy the first one. Yeah. And some people are like, go ahead and upgrade, your from your Jenner to something else. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then some people are like, first thing you should do is sell your Jenner, go buy a second Locust, and then go to the bar and pick up another mercenary.
I have heard this,
and I found that gameplay to be much better because there's so much control in the keyboard. So unless you sit and read the manual, not me, I'm impatient. I got to try it first before I read a manual. So I'll try it first and goof up.
Sure.
If you do that method, if you sell your Jenner, buy 2 Locusts, go get a Merc to come along with you, that AI will lead you where you need to go.
Yeah, it'll take you down. Exactly. Because the world, the way the world's laid out when you go to the actual battles, we're looking at one now. For those watching the video version, it's basically Battlezone with opaque colors. Like it's really that kind of landscape. So you're not really given a lot of hope that way. You don't really know where to go. I mean, you do.
No, you got a map. You can switch it and stuff, but
you can kind of get there. But the modern mapping that we have today, I mean, it puts this stuff to shame, right?
Yeah.
And it's actually the kind of game I think better mapping is always a good thing because you're talking about very high tech hardware.
Yeah.
You should have some amazing navigation systems in these things. So it's just an old PC game. So what are you going to do?
And it doesn't take much to confuse me, as I proved very early on, because I think I had played the Jenner a couple of times. I was having 0 luck. And I was like, okay. So I went and looked and I was like, let me try this other little method here. And I tried that and I got in the new Mech and I was like, what is going on? Why is it? Did I hit a button? Why did everything change? No, Brian, the HUD changes. The HUD layout changes with different mechs.
Yeah.
I couldn't get my mind around it for a minute. I said, I guess that makes sense. You got different.
The newer games make way more sense with that because it's much more physical and it's in the world and it's rendered out and everything. But you're right. In this game, it's like, oh, okay. Your map's in a very different place now. Why is that? And that sort of thing.
Yeah. It makes sense, though. And I loved it. It makes it more immersive. As much as immersion you can get out of these games, it really requires you to have a large imagination. I have a very large imagination.
You do. You have a big one. It's a huge honking. We call it. We call him the big image. We call him
the big image.
Yeah, you're a wrestler now. You have a wrestling name. But look at how fun this looks. This little combat going on here. You know, shooting missiles. This works. It's actually not bad. I mean, it's a little choppy and it's old and everything, but it's not. It's really not that bad. It's fun.
No. And that was one of the things I was concerned about. And one of the reasons why I emulated this on my Mr. FPGA, which is pretty close to it. It gets pretty accurate compared to other emulations I've used, except for X80 box. I'm sorry, 86 box.
Yeah. That
one's pretty solid too. But my Mr. works really well. And I was able to not run too fast because I was worried about that. I'm like, oh no, if I get in here, and it's running double speed, I won't know. And
you'll just think this is how the game goes. You wouldn't know.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the first time I ran it, I think I did because I was supposed to be defending a post. And I'm still I'm looking down at my keyboard going, okay, I think I need to go hit the arrow key forward to go forward. And of course, that's not how that works at all.
No.
And so this mech come flying at me. I'm like looking at my keyboard, looking up and going, oh no, here comes that mech. He's coming right at me. And then it just like flies by me because I was defending and I didn't realize that he was running towards my base. And I realized that it was inaccurate.
Yeah.
I was definitely running too fast.
Yeah, no, I get that. But how do you know that ahead of time? How do you, isn't there, I don't know, is there documentation that says the community has found that if you play this default, you're going to be too fast? You know what I mean? Like, how do you know?
So that's the reason why I do. I'm very familiar with all of my emulation as far as it applies to the CPUs and how fast it's supposed to be running. So if I set all that, I kind of know that the game is going to run accurately.
Okay.
I'll usually know that something's wrong when it looks weird or it plays weird or becomes impossible, and I'm like, okay, either I really suck or something else. But no, the community doesn't give me much help usually.
Great.
I have to go research.
Guys.
That's half the fun. That's right. So it's like, so usually the first thing I'll do is go, what's the minimum requirements for this game?
Yeah.
And I'll go, what's the maximum? And then I kind of fiddle around with things. And then I'll cross-reference some videos on YouTube. And sometimes there's not a lot to check from. Sometimes you'll watch YouTubes and all the YouTube videos are running at the wrong cycles. And you're like, oh, that's not right. That can't be right either.
No, it doesn't.
And
it's
right. A little bit of, it's an expedition each week when we play these DOS games.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
It's nothing wrong with that. A little hit and miss. What are you going to do? So let's move on to 2, because 2 is really the game I love the most. One's fun.
Which
One's
one?
great.
Which one, Scott? Which MechWarrior 2?
This is the problem, right? Because there's so much of it. So for me, it's there's a core game. Like a lot of people complain right now that 5 is a little bit weird like this. Like there's the core 5 game,
right,
and it had some real issues at launch, and then I think a year later, it got all fixed and kind of got a subtitle, but it was really the same game. It was just fixed. And then later clans came, and it was confusing because it was 5 clans, which made it seem like an expansion to 5, but it wasn't. It was its own thing, and it was more story-driven and way less, base managey.
Right.
And it's confusing. And it turns out that they have a long history of being confusing about what version is what and why you're going to use whatever you're going to do. For me, MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries 1986 was the one. That was the bomb. We're not going to talk about that first, but that's the one I love the most. MechWarrior 2 31st Century Combat is technically the game that came next in 95, a year prior.
Yeah. 96 when I started with Mech 2 Mercenaries. And I don't remember much about it, but I think I got a demo or something, but that's where I started too. That's where I fell in love with the game.
Yeah, this is where I played the most. We played this in our office. This was when I think the thing really took off and things went nuts. Like you get an actual bouncing little HUD. You got a little HUD going on, a little bit of HUD. It was a technically impressive game, although I still think your third-person mech shot looks so stupid. Look at that.
I personally love the third-person tech shot. Is one of my favorite things. And the video you're showing,
it's so bad though,
is the original release before you really started getting into the 3DFX stuff.
Oh yeah, this is very early. Very early.
On this one too.
Yeah, you could, but it didn't look right. It just looked like mushy.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's not great.
Mapping and stuff. Yeah.
I think 2 Mercenaries is where things started really looking good to me.
Yeah,
visually, but whatever. This was still a giant leap, and I remember at the time going, "Oh man, freaking 1995, we're here, baby.
We're here.
We're playing some proper mech game now. This is how you really play it." And so there were a few enhancements: real-time engine with the 3D, with less 2D thrown in there, textured polygons, at least some of it, some dynamic lighting. Lots more customization to the mechs. Everything from jump jets, heat sinks, changing the weapons, your armor. That depth of the BattleTech universe got way deeper. In this particular game, and you had some cool extras like a cinematic intro, some better sound design, cockpit UI like we were just describing here. And if you're watching the video version, you can see this big polygon cage that moves as you walk.
Yeah, I love it.
Had some voiceover. Let's see if I can get some sound on this.
Oh, they had so much. Oh, the trainers are the best.
Yeah,
please tell me I got some trainer stuff.
And that sound of them foot falling. All right, we'll get some audio here in a sec, I think, from the voice.
I think he's already insulted you. I think you have to rewind to get the insult.
Nav Beta will load automatically. Look up at the heading indicator. You'll see that Nav Beta is off to the right. Head for Nav Beta.
You know how you know that it's the 90s?
Yeah.
That the voiceover was probably the guy in QA up the hallway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They weren't hiring proper voice actors back then.
Oh, but I love the insults, especially in the training parts about how you just suck as a mech.
Yeah, you gotta get good in there.
Yeah, they are.
You know what? I don't think even exist. I don't think like those. What are the Namco air games? We talked about these. They're in planes though. They're jets. What's wrong with me?
Oh, Jesus! Air combat.
No, air combat. Ace Combat.
Yeah, Ace Combat.
Ace Combat. What are they up to? 9 or whatever they're at now? 7.
Yeah. 1 million.
Those games. I don't think those games exist without BattleTech, or at least they didn't evolve as well as they might have not done. Because a lot of those games, mission-based stuff like that, even like the Desert Strike games or Jungle Strike or any of those that we had a whole episode on those strike games.
Yeah,
those games owe a lot to these for pioneering the ideas of. We're at base. Here's the enemy. We need to make a plan. All right, go. And then we get into our big walking tanks and go do a thing. And you have certain not qualifications. You have things you have to do for those missions, and you have to be prepared for them. And if you're gonna, go out there with half-assed hardware, you're screwed. And it just kind of made a template for tactical, action,
planning,
strategy
execution.
games. Yeah. It's a big deal, and I love it.
Oh. Man, I've been in love with mechs since probably Robotech. I mean, it goes back a little further. But Macros Robotech is what we call it in the States. But
Macross. What else?
Before then, we had a little bit.
Gundam's great.
Gundam, of course. I never watched Gundam. That was not in my market. However,
did you watch Appleseed
this week?
Little Appleseed in your life? There?
Oh, I love Appleseed. But after this week, I went back and I've watched most of the first episode of Gundam, and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. But Robotech was my jam, and I always wanted to fly a mech, especially the transforming mechs they had in Robotech.
Yeah.
It was so freaking awesome.
No,
man.
dude, mechs, and then by extension, Transformers, and for you, GoBots.
Yeah. GoBots,
whatever.
My love really for anime starts when Battle for the Planets, G-Force, as we called it in the U.S.
Yep, loved it.
Ninja Force Gaiden. What is it? Gotchaman. That's it.
What was the one? What's the one they recently revived? That's everyone loves. Voltron. It was a very similar vibe. Yeah. I mean, they were tigers that turn into a huge, robot, but still same kind of ideas.
Yeah, I would love to get in a giant mech, and that's what MechWarrior lets you do here. It lets you get in these giant mechs. Did mechs even need arms? They don't always, but there's certainly plenty of them in here.
I mean,
right?
we like to, I think as humans, right. That's the interesting thing about BattleTech is they don't get so wrapped up in the humanoid nature or the anthropomorphic nature of these robots. They don't have to look like dudes in suits in BattleTech, right. But in Gundam or something like that, they all look like kind of robots, right? With heads and arms and hands and all of that. And I've always found that really interesting. It's like, to me, it's like starships and spacecraft in Star Wars versus like Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar was like, well, no, it all needs to be slick like airplanes and be aerodynamic. The Star Wars came along, and well, I know this is all after, but Star Wars has basically said, yeah, no, you don't. It's space. There's no wind resistance. You can be whatever you want. So Slave 1 looks like somebody's bad idea of a design, but it works. You know what I mean? Even though it's all weird.
Yeah, it works, right?
Yeah. The Millennium Falcon, same thing. That thing is not symmetrical, and I love the idea of non-symmetry in these things. And in BattleTech, there's plenty of those where it's like a big cage kind of main body thing. The legs are just there for traversal, but it's just one big Gatling arm over here, and then maybe some Stinger missiles up here. But really, it doesn't need to be like a dude, No,
it does, especially if you're inside it. And
I love that.
I actually like how it's kind of almost a ship in this, because some of the controls, it took me a long time to figure out the controls for the second one. Now you can use a mouse here as well as a joystick. You could in the first one with the joystick, but there's control on the upper part. So there's a chassis part which are the legs essentially. And now you guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, chassis is the main bit, isn't it?
Well, that's the leg part, if I'm not, because they call the upper part. Yeah. In game they call it the chassis. I think is the way they describe it in the manual. I could be wrong. Once again, you could correct me, Scott.
It might be that pivoty middle bit that holds the chest to the legs. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Right. You can pivot what they call the turret, which is the upper part of the body, where all of, whether it be missiles strapped to your shoulder, or if it's the actual guns, like more like arms. And you can kind of turn around and anyway, the point is, I thought that was way cool.
I found it. The chassis. So this, according to the BattleTech wiki, the chassis in BattleTech, or internal structure of the unit, is the framework around which the rest of the unit is built. Depending on the unit's form and function, they are a wide variety of different classic types. So think of like a car frame without anything on it yet, just the frame, or like your skeleton is your chassis, basically.
Right.
So it could include legs and.
So I'm driving my chassis right now, Scott.
Yeah, you are driving you driving coffee into your chassis or whatever you're drinking there.
Right. Yeah. I love that idea. So the point is this. I was getting there, I think. The point is, this thing is hard to drive, manage. It makes you realize how complicated it would to be actually have a mech and controlling things, because you got your feet direction that you're doing with one control, right? And then you go, but there may be things on my right or my left-hand side that I got to pivot. Mm-hmm. So kind of like a tank, but lots of tank games that I played seem to work in a little bit better. So you'll be going forward, you'll be going straight, and then you'll turn on purpose or not, and you'll be shooting at somebody next to you. And then you keep trying to go straight, or you try to turn and you realize your feet are going in the opposite direction. Yeah. Did you ever have this problem?
All the time.
Going in the opposite direction.
All the time. In fact, the newer games have settings to have that stuff move automatically, because it is complicated.
Yeah.
When you have the right stick for it, it's all accounted for, and that's, you want all that variation of movement. But it did introduce this weird thing where I could be going east to west,
right,
in a movement way, walking east to west, but I'm facing north and south, or even backwards. Right. And once you get used to it, though, it's great because you're now shooting independently of the rotation of your torso or of your frame, and that's awesome. I love that about it.
When I was using the mouse, I was having more trouble because your mech can actually like lean forward or kind of like go off center and stuff. And I never found a reason why I needed to do that much control. So I just ended up using the number pad, which allows you to hit the center key to recenter. So like if you're going along and you've turned your upper body in one direction shooting, and you're not sure what's going on, you can just hit that center button and it'll line back up.
They give you ways to do it, which is nice. Which would make sense in the real world, but you know what I mean, the fictional world, that you would have controls to do things like recentering and that sort of stuff. So the pilot doesn't get all discombobulated. Which
makes me think that first episode of Gundam I watched is bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
There's
bullshit.
no way that kid could have been doing that Gundam thing.
Oh, wait till you watch that Evangelion thing that's out there.
Oh, that's such a good show, though. That is so good.
I hate it. Let me tell you why. You want to know why I hate it? Because it's not really. It's not about the mechs. It's about that stupid kid's sadness. That's it. Now I understand that that's the point. The story is about depression, and it's about this. It's mental health, and it's all told through this other story. But when I come to my anime for big giant robots. That's what I come for. All right. I wish that kid well. I really do. This fake kid that doesn't exist. I hope he finds peace. But what I want is his giant ass robot to fight kaiju or whatever else we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here for the kaiju fighting, baby.
Exactly. Now, here's another thing, though, about that whole rotational thing. Someone in the chat mentioned strafing, and it's a good point to pause there and say it did introduce a new kind of strafing. At this stage, in our shooter world, we're playing Doom, and soon in the same year, 95, 96, we'd soon be playing demos and then eventual released versions of Quake. And we're starting to understand what strafing can do in a shooter. Yeah. The MechWarrior thing was cool because it just had built-in strafing. It was the whole walk left to right, shoot this direction. It took longer to reset. It was all those things. But the whole world had those limitations. It's not like there were other spazzy little mechs that didn't have to rotate. They all had to do this. They're huge machinery. And I love that stuff, man.
I do
freaking love that stuff. Huge.
I'll tell you, I really did. Even though there's like so many improvements to the actual mech fighting, like you said, in this game, I did miss the bigger story. There's a clan conflict. So this is like basically like almost like clan wars, right? Because it's like clans are not inner sphere families and factions. They're outside military forces that are coming in and causing disruption in the inner sphere, right?
So you like get tribes. Think of it as like tribes in a.
Well, guess who? Yeah, this goes to tribes eventually, right? This is a direct path to tribes. Good call.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of the game tribes, but you're right. There is some connection there. But it's like in any story. If you're like, we got 14 cavemen running this mountain town, but guess what? A bunch of renegade cavemen came in. And it works so well in space and science fiction because you can have space pirates. They're not really loyal to anyone. They're just chaos. I love that shit. So good.
Were you?
Go ahead.
Were you Clan Jade Falcon or Clan Wolf?
Wolf.
Because you got so I love the really big thing I love is how cinematic it is, even though it's very rudimentary for this. It's really advanced for the time. But now we look back and go, meh. But these little movies and stuff that get you into, do you want to play as Jade Falcon, those uptight buttholes, or do you want to play Clan Wolf, the cool dudes?
Yeah. The clan it's because they are cool. Clan Wolf is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was what I really wanted was more, and we did some of this modding in our office. I can't remember how far we took it, but we made some of our own clan names, replaced stuff in the game files. We got real moddy with this game.
Oh yeah.
With Mercenaries,
you don't want to wait for the expansion pack of Ghost Bear. No, you don't want to do that.
Didn't want Ghost Bear. No. Turns out, not interested in Ghost Bear as much as you might think.
I did not get much. I launched. Okay, so once again, Brian, you can blame Brian. Brian said ignorantly last week we should cover MechWarrior 1 and 2, not knowing the big old sandwich we were biting into. And I played a lot of Clan Wolf. but I never got a chance to really play much Jade Falcon, especially after I watched the cartoon. Did you watch the
no,
the
but I'm gonna. With
I
never
clans?
did. Never did.
Takes place. Yeah, takes place. Oh, Jesus.
I wish there was more new stuff now around that. Like I always pine for more 40K content and more BattleTech content. To me, they may as well be the same universe sometimes.
Right.
But I love all that stuff, just the look and the feel of it. And I would love some like full blown CG film stuff around MechWarrior. Oh, dude.
Right. Oh, well, yeah. And so they had the cartoon, just not to get too sidetracked on it, but they had so there's modes in the game that you can do. Like you can go in like a wireframe mode and different modes when you're playing the game. There's so many different options. It's so customizable how you want your experience for this game. But in the cartoon, it's great because they have these really, I think, pretty competently drawn 2D representation of mechs and these battles that are going on. And then occasionally Jade Falcon would turn on like some kind of weird mode. And I'm sure the people who were huge fans of it, which only lasted half a season, will tell me it was this mode. But they'd add a mode in, and then they would go into reboot territory. You remember the cartoon?
Oh,
Reboot?
yeah, I love
that
Reboot.
early 3D stuff.
Yeah.
So they would have the normal pew 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 G.I. Joe looking firefights and stuff with the mechs, and then they would turn on whatever, and then it would turn into this.
Yeah,
it was kind of neat because it was like a board, so it looked really like the BattleTech tabletop because it was more simplified, and it was just like for strategizing. And it was.
You know what I completely forgot it exists though was the movie Robot Jocks the same year.
Oh God, I didn't forget. Oh, the same year.
It's 1989. This came out as the first MechWarrior, and it is. We're seeing some of the trailer here. It is super cheese bag. Like we have to film sack this ASAP, but it is just so ridiculous. But it also is kind of a taste of this idea, you know.
It's Robot Jocks, Jox, not a bunch of jocks like a JOCKS. No. We just got the jocks.
No, and it's got that. Let's see, Stuart Gordon's not the actor. That's the director. Hold on, let me find. Is it Gary Graham? Yeah, this guy. We know this guy. Do you remember the? Oh,
the Gary Graham. Yeah.
Do you remember the show American? No.
Oh my God! You're talking about the Alien Nation.
There it is, Alien Nation. Yeah, he was in Alien Nation. He was in Star Trek Enterprise. This guy was all over the place. We
need to do an Alien. So we do.
Getting old now.
Yeah, we need to do an Alien Nation episode watch one day.
Oh hell yeah!
Like afterwards instead, and we'd still need to keep doing our Silverhawks. But dadgummit, Alien Nation.
Yeah.
That's some juicy
but
retro
more,
right there.
You know, right now, it's just somebody make a cool new thing. Have I missed something? Does BattleTech exist in some other cartoon or anime or something? I just missed it because I'm here for it. I'm ready for it now.
Right
this second. You know what? Right this second.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Bring it freaking on.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
So
I want it. New, old. I don't care.
When I mentioned that I was going to play Clan Wolf online, like I said, so many people reached out to me this week. Instantly, I started getting people yelling at me, Mad Cat. And I'm like, the game controllers?
No, that's plural. That'd be plural Mad Cats.
Exactly. So I thought they maybe like left out the pluralization of it. No, they were talking about the Timberwolf mech, which is a badass mech.
Oh yeah,
I love. You know, it's
my favorite. I think.
Yeah. I like that. Did you have a favorite out of all of them, or is this like so many to choose from?
Oh, there's so many to choose from.
Yeah,
and I couldn't do it by name because I don't ever remember. But
the only ones I remember is the Jenner and the Lotus from the first one because I was doing so much wheeling and dealing at the trying to sell and buy. So I don't know how I could have covered or played as any more Mech Warrior than I did this week.
I like whatever this guy's called here. I don't know what he's called, but this guy here, that's my guy.
Yeah. So he's that really cool. He almost looks like somebody cut off the front half of a like one of those old bombers, World War II bombers, and threw in a couple of some Halo guns and gave him some shoulder pads with missile, rocket launchers on them.
So badass. It makes me want to play it. I mean, not play it, draw it. It makes me want to go draw it. Is what it makes me want to do.
Oh, that too. So let's talk about just for a second before we get back into the game, all the lawsuits that happened because so FASA was doing a lot of the wheeling and dealing, and they actually the ones who wanted a game, and they had made a whole bunch of deals with the guys who did Robotech, and so or Macros, and so they had actually kind of sub-licensed, art licensed some stuff. I didn't get totally into it. All I know is that there was a whole bunch of stuff where they were getting the rights for some stuff and not getting the rights to other stuff. And there was a whole bunch of different stakeholders and companies changed hands, and the licensing to different pieces, whether it be the artwork or the concept or whatever it is, has made it a nightmare to see these old classic games return. Kind of like when we went through all the DVDs when it was like, hey, we used to have a TV show and we mixed in a whole bunch of modern music at the time, and now we can't release it on DVD because we don't have the license to the music and stuff. And
it's frustrating.
It's tough, man.
I can't. The version of they finally got it to a pretty good state, but there's still some missing music. But the version of Northern Exposure on Prime is like this.
Yeah. Oh my God, I was heartbroken when Malcolm in the Middle came out, or didn't come out forever, except for the first season. And then they they had follow-ups, and it was like, none of this music is right.
Did you try? Have you tried to watch WKRP in Cincinnati with all the rip out of the music they did there? Because it's terrible.
No,
terrible. And they put in all this like mumbo jumbo that is not the music they played on the show, and it just sounds. That show's already kind of hard to watch. Now you got to like have bad music also. It's like,
I know. I mean, you already got to see Herb Tarlick hitting on Burt Reynolds' wife. I mean, geez. I mean,
you can't think of her name either. What's her name?
Lonnie Anderson.
Lonnie Anderson. Yes. Damn it.
Yes, it's still back there. I knew it was floating around somewhere.
Crap.
ATSTs. That's what I can never remember. People, what's your take on that? I hear people say it's not AT-AT, it's AT-AT, and I'm like, then you're telling me it's ATST for the ATSTs?
I don't know why there's such an argument over that. It's really weird to me. Like, I understand that in world you might go, hey, we need to get those AT-ATs out there soon. That sounds like something you'd say about a thing that's really called AT-ATs. Because those ATs stand for something. They're not spelled.
All terrain.
That's so dumb. The argument itself is just so dumb. It's like, come on.
I used to kind of when I first heard it, it was like I was like, okay, yeah, AT-AT, I could see that, or AT-AT, I could see that. But then whenever I went back and said, wait a minute, one of those other things called like ATSTs or something, and I'm like, you don't call it ATST.
Yeah, that's effed. It's pronounced effed. Is what it's pronounced.
Yeah, it's pronounced.
I want you guys to see this Mercenaries video. Look at this. So this is a beautiful video game made for real gamers. Whoops, that's in the way. There we go. It is. Look at that infrared business going on.
Yeah.
Lighting effects, like this thing, next level. Some physics when your enemies die. Let's get to something in the sun here. Here we go. There's a snow mission. Got some textures on things. Yeah. Sounds crazy, I know, but 1996 was here. It's time for a little bit of true 3D business.
Popping out my Voodoo 2 card. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think still on at Voodoo 1, maybe.
I think this is still running on just software. I could be wrong. This video.
Yeah, software render was definitely an option this week for me.
Yeah.
And also had emulated some Voodoo 1 stuff. You can tell the explosions are still sprites to make it still run fast. But yeah, everything else looks pretty good. It's definitely a leap forward. We were impressed.
Yeah, two Mercenaries is where I spent all my freaking time. Like, I could not get enough. Played. Yeah.
And which is what I finally got back to. And the reason why I think I like the first one so much is because there is such a dealing. You're not actually a mercenary in the first one. You're someone trying to regain your status, and you're dealing with mercenaries. Here, instead of dealing with all the clan stuff, you're dealing with mercenaries, just like it's in the name. And so you're getting back to, in the second one, the 31st Century Combat, it was more like, here's some missions, and here's who you're fighting with, and here's your, here's who's in your lance. And Mercenaries, you get back to getting mercenaries and building your own kind of lance, and that I had more fun with that than fiddle farting around with, trying to figure out exactly. I want to load my mech out because I'm no good at that. I'm no good, Scott.
Oh yeah,
everything overheats for me.
Yeah,
I'm the worst.
No, you're bad.
Yeah.
You're bad at this video game. Is what we're saying.
I'm bad at it.
I don't actually believe that, but
right.
No,
Yeah.
these games are hard, and I got worked a lot in this. Although I got to a point where I felt like I was pretty good at it, and we would play for all night. I'd call my wife and go, "How are the kids? They're good."
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a little late. Oh, what's going on? Work stuff? I'm like,
yeah.
I can't lie to you. We're shooting each other in mechs, and she's like, "Oh, it's fine." She was very good about it, but I used to get so hooked on this game, and even looking at it now, the nostalgia is eking off this screen. I mean, pieces of the robots are flying off the robots. Yeah. Heat-seeking missiles are swirling around until it finds its source. Like, this was a huge jump, dude.
Oh, whoever's playing this so much better than me. I overheat constantly and shut down constantly. I don't know I couldn't do it. I just like, mech shutting down. I was like, no, not now. I'm right in the middle of a fight. Come on, man.
Mech, go home.
I like the length of the fights too, because like we talked about earlier, there's very little of the mech fighting in the first one. It's the matches are pretty quick.
Yeah.
But you just do one and you eat a little snack size and you go on to the next thing. These, you really do sit there and boy, I can imagine playing like against someone else, because I got pretty excited playing against the AI and just trying to, if I could just hit that one leg, if I could rotate my weapons, because you can cycle through, or I think it auto cycles as well, so that that way heat manages better, because each weapon adds to the heat, overall heat, and so you can like spam it, just hold the button down, and it'll stay on that weapon. But if you release, it'll jump to the next weapon. And
you also had to remember that the longer you held down on that thing, as much as you could do that, you were going to overheat shit. Like you were just asking for it. So there was lots of times where I was just sitting there going, "Guess I'm about to be blowed up because I just shut down. This is where I die.
This is just where it's over. Why didn't I get better heat sinks?
Yeah,
I don't know.
What was I thinking? I would never spend enough on heat sinks. I would always spend too much on weapons. I was trying to be the end all arsenal on two legs, and I paid for it a lot.
Oh yeah,
when I did that,
I loved it.
But it's such a cool game. Two mercenaries.
Would you like to be bored to death with the entire MechWarrior 2 everything list?
We should go through some of these others just quickly because they're weird. Like here, first of all, the core games, you'd think, oh, there's just one MechWarrior 2. No.
Yeah.
There was the DOS release. There was the 31st Century Combat release for 95 and the Titanium edition.
Right.
Enhanced graphics, better sound support for Windows 95 and 3D acceleration. You'd think back in those days you could just go buy MechWarrior 2 for your PC and it would work on the newer OS and maybe have better textures because you upgraded. Nope, they're two different versions of the game. That's just the way it was. So then it gets real weird. What happened after that?
So next we get to our expansions and standalone add-ons. MechWarrior 2, Ghost Bear's Legacy, so you could throw that in there with other clans. Now I got another clan, more expansion pack focusing on clan Ghost Bear. Got new missions, mechs, environments. Then you had the MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries standalone, and we just talked about that one. And then you moved on to some other things, some special editions and compilations, Scott. Did you see those?
I did. I never had them or played them, but they're out there.
The Titanium Trilogy, I think that's the one that was not greatly received because it's supposed to be some acceleration for some cards and stuff, and it did not work as well. It included all three of the games though: the MechWarrior 2, the Ghost Bear's Legacy, and the standalone Mercenaries. And what was it like? Also a MechWarrior 2. Net Mech, which was also bundled later, that was going to add on the multimedia player, or the multiplayer things you could do.
Yeah, basically it was like an online, not really a service, kind of.
Right.
It basically means you could play over the internet. It worked a lot like, if I remember this right, I didn't mess with this at all this week, but because I don't think you can, but it played like GameSpy. It was like that kind of thing. Serverless, all that.
Yeah. Just it manages everything for you.
Yeah.
MechWarrior 2, the battle pack for the Power PC and Mac. So that you could have some more stuff. Great.
Yep.
Sign me up.
Mac compatibility.
I'm a mech on my Mac.
Got Mech on your Mac, Mac on your Mech. MechWarrior 2 3DFX Enhanced Edition. This was one that I think I may have gotten and then barely played. Don't remember what my deal was. I can't remember.
I installed it and I tested it a bit, and it was not a great experience because it would come bundled in, right? Packed in with its 3DFX cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a whole lot of luck with it. I kind of ran out of time. But then there's the thing.
Then they had box art that had like huge voodoo logo on it and stuff, if I remember right. I had this and then just barely touched it back in the day.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Probably because it was getting kind of late, like 96, 97.
Yeah.
He was probably like, why do I need to enhance my MechWarrior 2 when there's other games that are now here to play?
And let me take some of you back a little to the 90s when your alternates besides 3DFX Voodoo were rendition cards. Remember those? Do you remember ATI? I mean, ATI is still in the form of AMD, so they sort of exist. Matrox, though, I've not heard the name Matrox in 1,000 years. I feel like Obi-Wan Kenobi going, now that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Oh, man, I love me some Matrox stuff, too, though. When I went and doing 3DFX, I was doing that.
No, Matrox was awesome. It felt like it was like the cool kids club if you had a Matrox card.
Really? Yeah, it was.
But then they went away entirely. I don't know if somebody bought them or how that went, but
I would love to explore that at one point in time because it was such a time. I mean, I can't think of another time that such a daughter cards. I mean,
remember that?
What?
You can still do that now. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's just so weird.
Yeah, like you can buy, let's see, was it a 3080 I had? I could have bought, what was it? I guess it's just buying two 3080s and then they combine to be one big fat.
Yeah, some SLI stuff, as I call it. SLI, some SLI, yeah.
But this was all right before NVIDIA popped on the scene. And what were they, 99 or something?
That sounds right.
Can't remember, but I got my first GeForce card around then. Can't remember what game it was even for. And I remember thinking, oh, these other guys are probably done.
Right.
This
Did you have any Diamond multimedia stuff?
Oh, yeah. Diamond. Hell yeah. I had a Diamond Rio player, the freaking stupid MP3 player.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Diamond and I, we were forever. Yeah. Like diamonds.
For a minute.
Then there was this the MechWarrior 2 PlayStation game in 97.
Yeah.
There's also a SNES game. You don't have it on here, but the SNES game, did you ever play this thing?
So this is where I was finally like, I got to stop somewhere because there's a Genesis game and there's a SNES game and they didn't quite fit in with what we were doing this week. The PlayStation version is almost seemed like it was based on the PC version, but with controller support for, the PlayStation, whereas the SNES version and the Genesis versions were just wholly their own thing.
I mean, look at this. And you're right, they were. But it was a lot of mode. The SNES version had the advantage of Mode 7 graphics, so you kind of had the sense that the world was sort of 3D and moving around in a cool perspective. But everything was sprites other than that. Look at that version of that guy sitting there from the first game. That's funny.
It's badass. It is really cool, and I do want to talk about it one day.
Yeah, we may get around to it. Who knows? But
I keep describing it because it is amazing. We'll talk about it now too.
It's pretty cool. Like, this looks neat, right? I never played this, so I can't speak to it, but it looks okay. I might try. I may try some of this later.
I played it for about 15 minutes, and I was like, okay, I see where you're going. I can't look at you right now, but I see you.
I don't have time for you, but we know you exist.
I see you.
They ever do any handheld stuff like Game Boy or anything?
I didn't see any, but also, like I said, it was rough.
Did you ever play this one, the top-down Jungle Strike looking one?
Yeah, I
Genesis,
didn't even have the heart to fire that one up.
I played this a bit. It's okay.
Isometric. It's just.
If you think the swiveling chassis is hard in a 3D one or in a third-person view, just imagine how hard it is in this top-down.
Wait till you get a D-pad and 3 buttons to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Good luck.
You're not wrong. It's trouble, but it plays like the Strike games, like Jungle Strike, Desert Strike, just like that, really.
Yeah. It looks amazing.
It's all right though. I like how it's animated. It's a lot of frames of animation. This was on Genesis and SNES at some point, and I can't remember which one I played, but it was good. It was all right.
Yeah, there was also a Saturn one as well. I saw 2 different references to it. So the ones that were released for consoles were called Arcade Combat Edition.
Yeah, weren't they in arcades though? I thought they were. No,
I don't think so. I think they were to imply that it was going to be less simulator and more, arcadish, just playing around. I got fewer controls.
Okay.
And they removed a bunch of missions and, just trying to bring it something to a system that isn't necessarily well suited to it, but
Sure.
I thought it played okay.
Yeah, but it's probably all right.
Yeah.
I think the games are great when they go much more action oriented. It's not that I like the tactical end and all that stuff's great. I'm not, I don't want to complain about that, but the version, I think that's why I gravitated so hard to Mech Assault on the Xbox, because it was just focused on the meat and potatoes of MechWarrior. It's like, go kill shit, story, voiceover, go kill more shit, come back. I don't know. Just really,
Mech Assault needs its own episode, because it also is how I got my Xbox soft modded. So I mean, it was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something special.
Easy to forget sometimes. That was everybody's way of modding their Xbox.
It was, yeah.
That disc. Yeah.
Yep.
I had one, and I remember
Xbox Media Center.
2 or 3 friends were like, "Give me your disc." I'm like, "No."
Right.
I'm like, "Why?" They're because I'm gonna hack my Xbox. I'm like, "Well, I want to play the game. I don't want to hack an Xbox. I want to play this video game."
I'm going to put Linux on my Xbox. Screw you.
You sound just like my friends. They were just like that. Well, anyway, these are awesome games. There's so much more to say about it. If you want to dig deeper into the lore of the world itself and why MechWarrior is an important part in that lore, you can. I mean, you can go as deep as you want to go. But if you really just want to simply just dip in, you can find on sale, lots of times you can find sales on BattleTech, which is awesome. I mentioned that earlier. It's more of a turn-based tabletop experience, but beautiful dynamic cameras and graphics and all that. And then the MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, or no, MechWarrior 5, was it just, MechWarrior 5 colon Mercenaries.
Yeah, I think they got MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, and they got MechWarrior 5 Clans.
Clans, I played both. I have played both. They're both very good. I think Mercenaries is a little more traditional MechWarrior.
Yeah.
With all the modern trappings, and Clans is more like, hey, I want a story, a standalone single player story that's a little more linear. If you'd like that idea, that's what that is. And they're both modern and good. So
yeah. And there's other ways to play. There's MechVM, this little project that lets you install your MechWarrior 2s. Like if you were to order a MechWarrior off eBay, they're not too expensive. MechWarrior 2 games are not too expensive off eBay. The first one's a little tougher. They're mostly on floppy disk. You can get the trilogies on CD. They're more reasonable, and they will come with some of them will come with the original MechWarrior. But once again, you're gonna have trouble running it unless you try to run it in DOSBox or something like that. If you need any help or advice, just let me know on social medias, or
he's your guy.
I'll help you out. And I think my favorite experience was using 86 box, because it allows me to really dial in. It's the virtual. So 86 box is basically VM, but it is specific towards retro hardware. Goes up to, I think, Pentium 2s, I think. Doesn't go beyond that.
No Pentium 3s?
So
when did they stop being Pentiums? When did they change that?
They still sell Pentiums, don't they?
Do they?
I don't know if they go with the numbers now.
They're not called Pentiums, I don't think.
They're not called Pentiums. I thought the Pentium line was still a bit. What do I know?
I mean, now it's all.
Hell, what do I know? I live in 6 different worlds. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I mean, I do not pay attention to the Intel world at all anymore. Like, what is Intel even doing? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Pentium.
Is it? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
Okay, so the Pentium. Here we go. Discontinued. Okay, I'm a little surprised. You're close. They were discontinued in 2023, but what were they? Were they making old ones?
I don't think so.
Because right now we're on what, Ivy Bridge or Sandy Bridge or whatever we're on now.
I was definitely not looking at the Pentiums. I just knew that they were still. I didn't know they actually completely ended them. Makes sense, but I thought they were still doing.
Gosh, something. Okay, so these compatible chips, the Pentium chips, were produced by Intel from 1993 up till 2023. The original Pentium was Intel's 5th generation processor. These are used mostly. So it's really for not retro, but legacy systems, like
legacy systems. Yeah,
like a lot of workstation server stuff. That's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I bet you could still pick up one up on the cheap. I bet.
There's a Pentium Anniversary Edition. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Remember Celerons? Those were poo.
Oh man, nothing made me sadder than when I remember I was so excited. Oh look, it's an affordable Pentium, and then I got a Celeron, and I was like, I think that's how you say it, right?
Celeron, I think.
Celeron, and I was like, what is this thing doing?
What is the point of this?
I know, like I clicked on that a minute ago. I mean, come on, man, is this
What's
still
this
spinning,
nonsense?
waiting?
Yeah,
What is?
and these days ARM is killing it. So
Oh yeah,
I feel like
so
Intel's
good.
days are
Delicious.
numbered. I hate to say it, but I do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know what they're going to
Maybe
do to
they'll-
make up for it. They lost so much money last year. They're
Maybe
they're
they'll,
struggling. They're struggling.
Maybe they'll get into some mech technology and they'll be able to turn it around.
They were never able to get mobile happening. They were never able to get even they have an ARM developing division that's just not making it happen.
Right.
And meantime, Qualcomm, freaking Apple's own silicon chips, NVIDIA's ARM chips are killing it. Like they power all the phones, all the tablets, all the stuff. Now desktop computers, soon gaming computers. Like this new Switch is a freaking NVIDIA CPU.
Yeah.
So was the old one for that matter. But the point is, they're finally hitting this stride, and the x86 stuff just going, hey fellas, remember me? Like I don't know what they're gonna do. And even in that department, AMD is kicking ass with their version of stuff, and they didn't have a chip that was killing its own self or whatever happened with the Intel recent one. So
if we cross that border with the quantum computing, it's all over anyway for Intel. Unless are they even doing anything?
You'd think they would be ready. Or
I know they're doing something. They got to be doing something, but it's whatever it is. I'm not aware. Let's put it this way: everybody else is like constantly in my feed about we're doing quantum computer stuff, and I've never once seen anything from Intel. Maybe I've just missed it. Maybe they renamed it or something. I don't know it.
I just feel like they're the modern IBM, even though IBM still exists, but it's that change from what
Even
they
IBM
were.
is
What they were to what they are. It's weird.
Right.
Anyway, that's your MechWarrior look, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Hey, why don't we play a game that we made up? How you feel about that?
Oh yeah. I think we should do that because but first I got to get into my my mech and put on my headphones.
Get in your mech and meet me.
All right.
Meet me at the desert or wherever.
You know how do you get in your mech? Well, I like to have my mech kind of lean down and put his hand to the ground, let me crawl into his hand, then he can like insert me into his chest.
Yep, I like that.
That's how I like.
That's how that'd be Titanfall 3 that we'll never get. Damn it, because 2.
Or do you like to go ahead?
Do you play Titanfall 2 by chance?
I own it.
It's so
that is the
good.
Sad truth. I own it and I never installed it.
Let me tell you two things that I hold true to this day.
Yeah.
It is the best single player first person shooter campaign I've ever played in my life. And I mean that. That's better. I liked it better than Half-Life 2. Like name a shooter campaign that you think is great. This beats it. Love it.
Right.
Secondly, it's the best feeling like mech. I cried about a machine in that game. Dude, that game is so good. Holy shit.
You guys got to get me out of my you got to get me out of my day job so that I can just
I know, right? Just play games all day.
There's just one me, and I don't even know. Even if I quit my job as a day job and just done nothing but explored all the games I missed, while at the same time trying to keep up with the new games coming out, it'd be impossible.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
I already struggle doing it. I don't know how anyone else is going to do it.
I don't know. You got like 6 gaming podcasts?
Well, just 2, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then my dumb videos. Those add up. Okay. I have a very funny one going up about the Switch today. I'll have to send it to you when we're done.
I'm very excited.
Brian, here we go. Here's our game.
Destroy it.
It's a game called Guess Our Game. We take an old game, we play some audio, tell each other the platform and year, and then we try to guess what it is. I'm going to start with the PlayStation 1 and the year of 1995. Okay? 95. Good year. I had my first kid that year. Well,
congratulations. Did you poop it out yourself, you say?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
good.
Right out of my vagina. So it was
job.
good stuff. Yep. I knew that thing would come in handy eventually. Anyway, here comes this audio. You see if you can guess what this is. pretty much how it goes. Now,
This is silky smooth though. I love how this sounds.
I was a huge fan of this game. Yeah. PlayStation 1, that was 95. Here are your options. Is it A, Alien Breed, B, Robotron X, C, Shock Troopers, or D, Loaded?
Just like my baked potatoes.
I do love a loaded baked potato. Damn.
I'm gonna say
Lifter chop, says the chat.
Mech. I think the answer is Mechatron X. No, I think it is
Mechatron.
Oh, jeez. I don't think it's Alien Breed. I have no idea what Loaded is. I'm going to stick between B and C, and I'm going to ask you to B, C me the answer. Give me the C.
You want the C? Shock Troopers? Let's find out. Is it C? No. Oh. The correct answer is Loaded. Number D, or letter D. Yeah, so this was a PlayStation 1 game that was great.
Loaded.
Top down.
Like my pants.
Top down kind of dual stick shooter, although I can't remember if the dual stick was out yet or the dual shock. But
no, this would have been too early. 95, you would not have dual shock.
Me and my buddy Steve played the shit out of this game.
Me and my buddy Steve
loved Loaded. It was bloody.
This kind of looks like. Is this kind of like Smash TV looking?
A little bit.
I love how this looks. Oh, this looks great.
Yeah,
all the blood. And
yeah, Loaded was awesome. Let's see if I can find a little video for the chat.
Like that game loop too. Yeah. I love these characters.
Yeah, look at this. It was top down. It was kind of close in on your character. You weren't like drawn way
this
out.
Is Smash TV up one side and down the other.
Oh, a little bit, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
there's inspiration here, but it was so bloody and so ridiculous and so over the top, and you could play co-op and you'd play forever.
Yeah,
we love this game. Love it. All right, Brian, let's jump on into your next option here. Let's see. This is you. Tell me my platform and year options, please.
You went with a really cool modern game. I went with the Nintendo Entertainment System from 1987.
Okay, back to my high school days. Jeez. Yeah. Well, let's see what we got here. What are my 87? Geez. I guess you can't tell me till I play it. Here's your audio.
Right, it's like that for 30 minutes.
Jeez, really? I like this music.
I do too.
This is really good.
Did you see that key change?
Yeah, it's really good. Actually, it's a pretty slapping song for an NES game.
Yeah, I like it. I liked it. It was pretty good.
All right.
So your options are, you ready, Scott?
Do it.
Is this A, Kung Fu Heroes, B, Goonies, C, Bad Street Brawler, D, Big Trouble in Little China?
Shit. So we have two movie references, Goonies and Big Trouble in Little China. That's entirely possible. Kung Fu Heroes, also possible. Bad Street Brawler. Are these all real?
Oh, these are all real on the NES from 1987.
Okay. Kung Fu Heroes sounds fake, but I'm going to take a wild guess just based on the fact that you might do this because we just saw Goonies. I'm going to say Goonies. I have no idea.
Scott is a Goonie, and Goonie is... Sorry, but you were on the right path.
I like you said Goonie.
D, like Goomy. I'm a Goomy.
D, did Big Trouble in Little China, really?
D, Big Trouble in Little China.
I didn't know that game. I guess I probably knew it existed, but I never played it.
Yeah, I don't think I never played it. Like I said, I was not a first run owner of NES equipment. It wasn't until later that someone gave me, and I never picked up Big Trouble in Little China. But get on that big old truck and make some shooting noises.
Yeah, you know what I don't like about it the most? Let me play it again here at the top.
Dude,
jeez,
that is not. I had to edit that like 6 times to try to make it short enough because that little noise goes on for like 15 seconds and it feels like an eternity. And I said, how short can I make it where it's still annoying, still get the idea, but not so long that it actually be annoying.
It's like when Jim Carrey says you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world in the band, and then you just play that over and over.
Yeah.
Well, all right then. Well done. We both lost. That's what we did today.
Yeah, we both.
Big fat farts all around.
But
everybody.
you're the winner because you were yelling at your radio and you got it right. Congratulations.
Good job, everybody at home. You are the big winners of the week. All right?
Yuck.
Okay, great. Thanks, lady. Let's move on now to the Welcome to Retro segment of the show. Oh, this is great news. That's so loud for some reason. Samurai Western, the PlayStation 2, June 7th, 2005, or as this says, 20,005. That's fine.
20,005. We added an extra 0 in there for binary purposes.
Future.
Yeah.
Samurai Western takes you back to the American West during the 1800s as the mysterious Gojiro Kiryu. And must use your special attacks, weapons, and powers to bring justice to a deserted town. That sounds like a good Western idea to me.
It looks pretty. I saw it and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm looking forward to doing this one.
Never played it.
Looks fun.
No memory of this at all. Does this have a following or anything? Like people are into it?
People love it, man. No, I'm just kidding. It did okay.
Nobody likes it. It's crap.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like somebody out there, this was their first and only game for just a minute on the PlayStation 2 for whatever reason. And it is their absolute die on this hill game. And I'm okay with that sometimes.
I am also okay with that.
Welcome to the treasure room.
That means it's time for your emails, feedback, whatever we want to call it. Today it is all about texts, and they came to us at this thing, voicecast.app/playretro. That is voicecast.app/playretro. You can do voicemails and text there. And this one from Thomas says, "Hi, Scott and Brian. I know you guys are enjoying your watching of Silverhawks. It's a show I enjoyed when I was younger, but my favorite animated show of the 80s was The Adventure of the Galaxy Rangers." He says that is a mix of Star Trek, Texas Rangers, and other Western themes. It also has a great theme song. I'm going to play a little of it now.
Did I forget about Galaxy Rangers? Oh my God, I love it. What was it called? The whole title? I thought it was just called Galaxy Rangers.
Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers.
Okay, I just call it Galaxy Rangers.
I'm just going to play a little bit of it. Let's see if we can get a little intro taste out of it. Here we go.
In 2086, two peaceful aliens journeyed to Earth, seeking our help. In return, they gave us the plans for our first hyperdrive, allowing mankind to open the doors to the stars.
This looks awesome.
The way to the danger zone.
This looks awesome.
Oh, yeah, it was a great. Oh, I loved it. I kind of forgotten about it.
I've got no memory of this at all. None.
Yeah. And
the animation's nice. Looks very Battle of the Planets to me.
Yeah.
In terms of quality and stuff.
It's
loud, sorry.
If I remember correctly, it's leagues above Silverhawks in animation. It looks so much better.
It looks like it might even be
earlier.
Oh, something about this is very familiar. Like Thundercats-y, little Thundercats-ish.
Yeah.
It's obviously
looks like one of those things that was probably early 80s in Japan and then repackaged for the U.S. markets because, yeah, that looks delicious.
I'm seeking this out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm watching this shit as soon as I can.
And it's called The Adventures of the. I could have sworn it's called. Is the opening title like really small letters? The Adventures of, and then it's like Galaxy Rangers because that's.
It's a really good question. Let's see.
Right.
I'm trying to see if there's a way to see here. It gives us the name.
Because I just always called it Galaxy Rangers.
I can't find the title, but I'm sure I feel like you're right.
Right.
Where is this? Oh, there it is. No, that just says the name of the. Oh, this music. Okay, here we go. We got a cowboy dual wielding. He's a sheriff. No, they didn't show it.
No, okay.
I guess we don't know.
I don't know.
All right, well, you got me curious. Thank you, listener, for that. We appreciate it.
Brought to you by Gaylord Entertainment Company.
Gaylord. Love it.
Gaylord. Yep. I used to see that at the end of the shows. Gaylord.
Thomas.
It was funny to my 80s kids brain.
Oh, to your 80s kids brain was the funniest thing you ever heard.
Yeah.
Gaylord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we just kind of go, yeah, it's fine. Here is from somebody calling themselves an ordinary guy.
Oh, ordinary.
We have to define that. I don't know what that means, but anyway, you guys were talking about Roger Rabbit the other day, and I have some thoughts. Number one, it definitely holds up, and it still looks believable as it is incredible. I agree. I think it looks great. No complaints.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in so long. I don't know. I in my mind it holds up. I got to check it out.
Says number 2, quote, Who Censored Roger Rabbit, unquote, is the novel that the movie is based on. It's completely different, but it's still a great story. I've never heard of that. Did not know that.
I think I have vague memories of that. That does sound like something familiar. I've done some deep dives on it, but that was like decades ago.
Says nerdcore artist MC Lars made a short fan fiction EP titled Notes from Toontown, and it's wonderful. And then number 4, episode 13 of the MC Lars podcast featured an interview with Gary K. Wolf, the creator of Roger Rabbit, and credits himself with saving Disney. That may be a little push, a little much.
Yeah, I don't know MC Lars, but that sounds amazing. I got to go check out some MC Lars.
Yeah. Ordinary Guy says, love the show. You guys are great. Well, that's very nice. Thank you.
You're an extraordinary ordinary guy.
Yeah, I don't think you're all that ordinary. I think you are extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
From The Watcher, wrote in. His name is The Watcher. He says, you've been watching Silverhawks. That's true, we have.
So, for the wait. Is this someone who is also watching with us? Or
He's watching us.
Are they part of the Watchers?
I think he's like the Watcher from Marvel, where
interplanetary. Okay, so out in the galaxy, standing on got his foot on a moon or something.
Yeah,
just watching. I got
a great robes, got a great big head.
Right,
just watching shit. He says, "Have you noticed that all the male Silverhawks have ports at about waist level, but the female does not?"
I have not, but now I won't be able to unsee it. They've got ports.
I'm looking it up
at about waist level. That is some serious thinking.
I'm gonna find it.
So
I'm gonna find it because I didn't know they had these ports.
So now we got to update it to their part machine, somewhat human, and some of them have ports.
I see what he's saying. You can even see it in this kind of low res one. So every character, although Cowboy Boy guy's covering it, but all the male characters have this little circular thing in the front.
I thought those were belt buckles,
and so did I. And then the girl's got nothing. Girl doesn't have it.
Girls don't wear belt.
They don't wear belt holes or whatever the hell this is. I'd never. This is not a thing I noticed.
No, that is curious. I've never. Wait, but she's got a thigh port.
Yeah, she does have a thigh port.
Thigh port.
And the cowboy's got a guitar and he sucks.
So now I want to know what those ports are for.
Yeah, I got questions. I have more questions than I started with, thanks to this.
This casting confusion and chaos from the Watcher location and somewhere in the galaxy.
Here's a better shot of it. Yeah, this one's better, sort of. Let me zoom in again. Yeah, it's ports for everybody but the lady.
Right.
And I assume Cowboy's got him. He just has it covered. So I don't know.
Yeah, you can't. And obviously.
And the bird, I guess he doesn't have it.
Yeah. Tally ho caw. So, come land in my port.
My bird port. The good news, we're going to watch another one of those for our patrons. We've been doing that. If you're wondering what's all the Silverhawks talk, for our patrons, we've been watching live version or doing a live watch along of Silverhawks. I think we're on episode 3 or 4. I forget.
I think 4. I think we're on 4 now. Silverhawk today.
So we're going to be doing Silverhawk.
Podcast name?
Yeah. The whole new show. We're switching everything over to Silverhawk fandom.
Yeah, we're going to spell it Silver. It's going to be Talk. TAWK.
Yeah. Better than Silver Cock or something. Silver front port. Anyway, we're going to do another one of those today. And if you're not a patron, you're missing out. They're super fun. But if you are here live, you're going to get to see it anyway because you're here live. You're making your own little version of a sacrifice to be here. So thank you, The Watcher, for that. Always keep watching. Our next discussion will be Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
Oh, yeah. Finally. I never got to play it.
PC version?
That's a good question. I'm going to play the PC version if I can.
What's it called? Hold on.
Pointing and clicking.
Fate of Atlantis.
One that's like closely related to it. What's the thing called? There's two on the ties together. One of them's supposed to be like, this is supposed to be the sequel to the other one, like Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. And then there's
the Harry Chode.
Yeah. No Time for the Atlantis, I think is what it's called.
No Time for Love, Dr. Jones. Here it is. Okay. Amiga 92, Amiga, DOS, Macintosh. CD-ROM.
Scum?
What?
Okay. Is it Scum?
Oh, I don't know. Is it Scum?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the seventh game to use the Scum engine, so that's how I'll be playing it. I'll be firing up my Scum VM.
Yeah, Scum VM will do this. It's on Steam as well. Got really good score on there. This
version. Oh, did you know this? The CD talkie version requires EMS memory.
Oh, I'm just gonna buy it on Steam. It's only $6.
Yeah, I think it's on Good Old Games where I saw it.
It's $6, dude. It's nothing.
Yeah, that's what got me excited. Yeah,
I'm gonna buy this week. Let's see. Is it play? It's unsupported on Steam Deck, but that's fine.
That's fine.
Well, there you go. That is next week, right here on Play Retro, a discussion of Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, and it should be next Monday at our normal time, unless Brian has something.
I'm going in for a throat thing.
He's getting a throat thing. Yeah.
Stretch my throat.
They're going to check your hole, your other hole.
Yeah. And of course, while they're in there, going to be looking for anything like polyps. And if it was, hopefully nothing to be found. If there is something found, I might have to wait for a couple of days. But I don't think so. That's very unlikely that's. But they did warn me. They did tell me,
sure,
hey, if we find anything in there, we're taking it out. And I'm like, what are you expecting to find?
Then you get like sore throat for days, potentially.
Yeah.
So we're gonna we'll keep our eyes on that. So if it's a day later, we'll do it Tuesday. If it's something worse, we'll let you guys know. But we are planning on Monday unless something goes crazy.
Yeah.
So
look
forward to that.
I think we're gonna get it. Gotta get it.
In the meantime, please support us on our patreon.com/playretro, like David Southard, who just joined us, brand new patron this week. Yeah.
Oh, hi, David.
If I saw him, I would give him a big hug right now. Just a big squeezy hug.
Yeah, squeeze him right in a hug and then poke him in the port.
Poke him right in his front port. Exactly.
Unsubscribe.
Yep, he's out of here. No more David Southard. But anyway, he's going to get no commercials ever. So could you. He's going to get pre-show content every week. So could you. Get these Silverhawks watch-alongs. So could you. How do you do it? Go to patreon.com/playretro today. And for everything else, go to frogpants.com/playretro. Keep that feedback coming in. Come back next week when we got more. Brian, you got anything else to say before we go?
Did we mention our YouTube channel?
Shit.
Play Retro Show?
Yeah, Play Retro Show. So it's at Play Retro Show on YouTube, or if you just go to youtube.com/@PlayRetroShow, because they got the weird @ thing going on at YouTube now.
Yeah.
You can sub up there. And the reason to do that is, A, we put every show, video archive, and podcast version are up on that YouTube channel. We also do extra stuff over there, shorts and things all around video games. Brian is always whipping out the camera and doing something cool about something he's watching. I'm always doing something dumb. We add them to that place all the time. And that was the other thing I was going to say about it. Oh, and we got to our watch hours. Now we just need to get to our sub numbers. And it's really going to help us. So get over there and check it out. youtube.com/playretro.
We're getting close.
Or at Play Retro Show. That's going to do it for us. Thank you all for listening. Go play something retro. We'll see you next week.
Next week.
Frog in Pants. If you're looking for something froggy smooth, find more at frogpants.com.
MechWarrior.